Mark, good to have you here. Great story, so much in this story. So what may be coming from Apple and when on the smart home front?
So the smart home is Apple's next big thing. It's actually funny. 10 years ago, or a little over 10 years ago, Apple introduced HomeKit. This was a framework for the iPhone to interact with smart home accessories, sprinklers, dishwashers, laundry machines, but also things like lights and locks and TVs and whatnot. And it was kind of stagnant for a while. Then they released a HomeKit app so you can control these things from an application on your iPhone and your iPad. Eventually brought it to the Mac. And they took it to another level. Right? They started introducing things like the HomePod and making the Apple TV part of it. But the home approach really never took off. But now they're hoping to change that. In March, they're going to announce a new device. It's a Home Hub. It's about a 6-inch display. It looks like two iPhones side by side, so it's square. It has a FaceTime camera on it, and you'll basically be able to do anything from your wall or from your nightstand or your kitchen table, things like video conferencing, intercomming, reviewing security footage, controlling your lights, controlling your media playback on your speakers and TVs throughout the home. So a central place just for home stuff. And it's really similar to an iPad, right? But something that's going to be a bit cheaper and dedicated to home use cases.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hit on, and that's exactly where I want to go. I was actually in a home over the weekend, and a friend of mine, and he's got basically an iPad mini embedded in every single wall to control all that stuff already. Why not just go with an iPad and instead of creating something completely new?
Yeah, well, obviously they're trying to create new sources of revenue, right? So they don't want people who have an iPad to use an iPad to control their homes. They want people to use their iPads for other stuff.
Come
and then
on,
buy
Tim.
an additional device
still selling
to
iPads,
control their homes, right? And then obviously you can get wall attachments like your friend. They have them all over Amazon. But also the cool thing there is that this will have a wall attachment specific to this device, something Apple designed, Apple made, that you can buy if you're in the Apple ecosystem. So that's really the leg up there. And there's going to be a new operating system and user interface optimized for home use cases. Obviously, the iPad has the Home app, but you can't build the device around those home use cases, whereas this is going to have a dedicated home screen for your home controls. And the other thing here is that this is going to have Apple Intelligence, so this is going to be built from the ground up for Apple Intelligence. Apple said that about the iPhone. Complete lie. Here, it's actually the truth. This is a device that's going to be controlled entirely by your voice.
And I bought a new iPhone. Darn. Anyway.
Yes. Using a feature called App Intents. App Intents means you'll be able to have finite, very specific control over actions on the device. So you'll be able to manipulate the whole thing, telling it, scroll there, do this, do that, right? Something you can't really do on your phone today or your iPad today. So it's going to be very Siri, Apple Intelligence, AI focused, big presence on home control. But the big features are communication, home control, security, and Siri. Does
Amazon and Google have to be worried?
I don't think so. I mean, they've been in this game for 5 to 7 years. They have the Nest Hub, the Nest Hub Max. The Nest Hub's only $100. The Nest Hub Max is $230, and it's going to have much better speakers and a bigger display than the Apple device, and it's going to be cheaper. Amazon last year launched the Amazon launched the Echo Hub, which is a very similar dedicated control panel for home use cases. Several years ago, they launched the Echo Show, which was the first Echo with the display. They have an Echo Show 15 now that can actually be pinned to your wall as well. So both of those parties have been in the game. And all of these companies are really reliant on each other at this point when it comes to the smart home. That's because there's a new framework called Matter, which makes it so all smart home appliances, regardless if they're developed for Apple, Amazon, or Google, they can work on each other's platforms. So that's going to be a cool component of this too.
What's the price on this puppy?
I think it's going to be a few $100. I think it's going to be between $200 and $400. I would say it's probably going to be closer to the $300 range. I don't have a final price point. We're still about 4, 5, 6 months away from this going on sale. But it's not going to be cheap in context of the existing home display market. There's going to be a premium like there always is for Apple products. But compared to something like an iPad, it's going to be a little bit less, right? The iPad mini now, I believe, is $500. So this is probably going to be $100 to $200 less than that iPad mini.
Mark, 10 seconds. Is it going to follow us around like that old Facebook device?
No, but they're working on a subsequent model, probably about $1,000, that will have a robotic limb that can follow you around the display itself.
Kind of cool.
Look at that.
That version will also have a personality, an AI personality, designed to be a companion in your workspace, but that's a couple years off.